I mean, they asked them a question today, and I'm sure if you're of the type of person who just always hates the one team and loves what the other one does, they asked them a question about the crash. They said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to.
Bill Maher is stirring the pot once again, and this time he's taking direct aim at the ladies of The View. On live television, Maher called out what he sees as their latest round of woke absurdity. Never one to hold back, the EI. Outspoken comedian caught wind of the panel's contradictions and unleashed. His sharp words didn't miss either, slicing straight through the double talk and exposing every inconsistency. And yes, we've got every single clip to back it up, so strap in, this one's a roller coaster. But before we dive deep, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more bold takes, just like this.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
This is exactly why Trump could end, up back in the White House. It's the woke playbook in full effect. Twist what people say, ignore their real intent, and spread chaos under the banner of progress. It's never about truth or honest debate. It's about controlling the story. They've run this move on Trump for years, warping every soundbite and headline to paint him as an over-the-top villain. It's automatic at this point, wired into how they operate. So when Bill Maher stepped into their territory, they couldn't help themselves. They tried the same tired trick, twisting his words for a cheap gotcha moment. But Maher wasn't having it. He clapped back fast, setting the record straight with pinpoint clarity before the spin machine could even start. You could feel the tension shift immediately. When someone breaks from groupthink, the woke crowd freezes. And Maher, cool as ever, held the line like a champ.
Woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want. Okay. Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left?
Sunny Hostin came in swinging, ready to paint Maher as some kind of anti-woke villain. But it unraveled fast. From the moment she opened her mouth, you could see it, rubbing her forehead, dodging Maher's gaze, delivering her lines like someone marching straight into a trap, hesitant, uncertain, already bracing for impact. You could almost watch the realization hit her. Maher was about to dismantle her entire argument with effortless precision. She started with the usual claim that the right had hijacked and twisted the word woke into a weapon against social progress. But Maher wasn't playing defense. Steady, sharp, and completely unfazed, he pushed back hard. He laid it out plainly. The right didn't have to hijack anything. It was the left's own actions, the language policing, the cancel culture over minor mistakes, the obsession with identity politics, that made woke so easy to mock. And Maher? He just lit the match. Armed with facts and timing, he shifted the momentum instantly. Sensing they were losing ground, The View had only one move left. Call in reinforcements. Enter Whoopi Goldberg, the queen of woke herself.
Be so flippant, man. Listen, nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, sexually gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody. Because if you're the one who's not paying attention and you're coughing and sneezing, you don't want to then stay out of the public, man. This is not, nobody wants this.
Whoopi Goldberg came in swinging. Full fire, full drama, unleashing an all-out assault on Maher for daring to challenge the untouchable sanctity of The View. With all the theatrical flair she could summon, she labeled him flippant, accusing him of being dismissive and disrespectful, all because he dared to choose facts over feelings. To Whoopi, Maher's refusal to stick to the progressive script wasn't just a disagreement, it was a personal offense. But Maher? Unshaken. He's been through too many culture wars to get rattled by a bit of live TV outrage. While Whoopi tried to cast him as tone-deaf and heartless, Maher stayed cool, calm, and laser-focused. He planted his feet in logic and clarity, laying bare the real issue. When emotion starts outranking truth, society fractures, not heals. The tension in the room, you could cut it with a knife. But Maher didn't need theatrics. He didn't need to shout. He let cold, hard facts speak louder than any rant. And in what can only be described as poetic justice, not long after this clash, Whoopi Goldberg herself got suspended from The View for her jaw-dropping claim that the Holocaust wasn't about race.
This morning, more fallout for Whoopi Goldberg. ABC News suspending Goldberg from The View for 2 weeks after she made controversial comments about Jewish people and the Holocaust on Monday's episode.
The Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to...
Her remarks lit a firestorm, triggering instant outrage across social media and major news networks alike. The backlash was fierce, fast, and impossible to ignore, leaving the network no choice but to act. Whoopi was slapped with a 2-week suspension, a move that sent shockwaves through the world of daytime TV. To Maher's supporters, it felt like poetic justice. Just days after her unprovoked tirade against him, the tables had turned. The timing? Almost too perfect. But even with public sentiment clearly swinging his way, Maher chose a different path. Instead of celebrating, he called for Whoopi's return. He reminded everyone that free speech isn't just for the moments when we agree, it's for all moments. Even the uncomfortable ones. It was a gutsy, generous move that highlighted the deep divide between Maher's belief in true discourse and The View's cancel first, think later instinct. In a world where outrage rules and takedowns happen at lightning speed, Maher proved that sticking to principle matters more than scoring a cheap win.
I'm saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Still, behind that composed demeanor, you know Maher had to be quietly amused. The irony was simply too delicious to ignore. The self-declared hunter had become the hunted. Whoopi, who marched into the exchange thinking she held all the cards, ended up triggering a disaster entirely. Of her own making. It wasn't just a misstep. It was full-blown self-destruction. She got wrecked by her own rhetoric, steamrolled by her own hubris, and metaphorically devoured by the very outrage culture she helped create, all because she thought taking a swing at Maher was a winning move. He didn't even have to lift a finger. Her collapse was homegrown, served up on a silver platter of contradiction and smugness. And while Maher kept it classy in public, you just know there was a smirk waiting backstage. Because when you build your brand on outrage and try to take down people for speaking inconvenient truths, eventually that outrage turns inward. And this time it came back hungry. And it came for her.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to you.
Whoopi, true to form, fired back at Maher with the fiery defiance that's become her calling card. You'd think that after Maher offered a rare public olive branch, graciously calling for her reinstatement and refusing to kick her while she was down, she'd pause before swinging again. But not Whoopi. She didn't hesitate for a second. If anything, she came in even harder. Because if there's one skill Whoopi Goldberg has perfected, it's biting the very hand that reaches out to help. Gratitude? For her, it's not just fleeting. It's practically non-existent. Instead of acknowledging Maher's level-headed response, she treated it like a blank check to escalate the fight even further. She brushed off his defense like it never happened, leaned even deeper into the feud, and reminded everyone that for certain media figures, loyalty to the narrative trumps reason, facts, and even the most basic sense of decency.
Before we go, I want to say...
No, we're not going anywhere yet.
Okay, but I just want to say one thing, because we were talking in the break.
Yeah.
Joy is a wonderful human being, and she should not be afraid that people are going to attack her because she said that thing about the... on the cap.
Well,
She does not think that as you said to me in the break, you do not think that all the people who are for Trump are not.
No, I don't.
You
I
don't.
I just want them to pay attention to words like vermin and poisoning the
course.
blood and the Third Reich. That's
Right.
all. That's really what I'm asking.